Dave and Darren's Top 5 Things podcast, a review of some of the things we got done on our morning show over on Planet 93.9. Thanks for downloading this, subscribing, leaving reviews. And now you're listening. Now you're doing really the heavy lifting that we need you to do. Thanks for doing that. Also, thanks to Nature's Treatment of Illinois for making it possible.
Nature's Treatment of Illinois' goal is to fully understand their clients' needs physically, mentally, and emotionally, because they know it's not easy to live with a chronic illness. What's going to happen is their experienced wellness consultants can sit down with you and discuss what options might work best to make you feel more comfortable. Frequently asked questions are answered. All you have to do is just go to the website. That's ntillinois.com.
And we begin.
Number one.
Number one.
Interesting article in the Washington Post that suggests television hits are a thing of the past. To be a hit television show, that just no longer happens.
Okay, so what does that mean? A certain longevity?
Well, the point that they're making in the Post is that what we call a TV hit really doesn't mean anything anymore. Mayor of Easttown, that's the show that everybody was talking about this summer. It was an HBO show, Kate Winslet. It's a terrific show, although I didn't love how it ended. But still.
I must have missed that one.
Yeah, of course you did. If it's not Ed Sullivan on Cozy, you're not watching it. What's the last, TV show that people watch in real time that you've watched? You spend all your time watching Partridge Family reruns. Are there any current TV shows that you watch?
Current shows?
Yes.
I take in a baseball game every so often.
You understand that's not a television show.
I'll take in a couple innings of a baseball game.
Yes, that's exactly the point, Darren. It's not. You don't feel the need when people are talking about, oh, that's a hit show. People are talking about it. There's a buzz on that television show. You, my friend, you run the other way when you hear that kind of talk. Whereas I tend to steer into it. Oh, are people talking about Mayor of Easttown? I must know more.
I'm a slave to fashion.
Well, I mean, I'm a slave to the moment, and I apologize to no one for that. So Mayor of Easttown, a big hit TV show, but the problem is it wasn't really.
Because now was it just okay, we're going to do this for just one season and it's done.
There is that. I can't imagine they'll bring back Mayor of Easttown for another season. It would be silly if they did. Mayor of Easttown was watched, the finale when it aired was watched over Memorial Day weekend by 4 million people. 4 million people is nothing. 99% of America didn't watch any of Mayor of Easttown.
Now who's fashionable?
Yeah, you're one of the 99%ers, exactly. The Post writes here, the television hit, the most abiding of entertainment traditions, appears to be dying. That isn't to say shows don't have fans. They do, and some of them are more passionate than ever. But according to its long-standing definition, a universally recognized show that gathers a large, verifiable audience and becomes unavoidable in all the places people talk about TV and endures well beyond its run, the TV hit is vanishing. That is true, not just as is commonly lamented on broadcast, but also according to the lower standards of subscription television. Just 2 years ago, HBO's Game of Thrones gathered 20 million viewers to watch its finale. Nothing on the current pay TV landscape would stand a chance of coming close to that, right? 2 years ago, Game of Thrones, 20 million viewers. Now the big hit for HBO is 4 million viewers. A Hollywood producer that talks to the Times in this piece says every network or service now likes to talk about a big hit they have. But the question is, compared to what? We live in the age of singles and doubles. One of the biggest factors is economic. We're going more to subscription models, which is more about being engaged with something and watching it rather than it just being popular with everyone else. People love shows like WandaVision or Ted Lasso or Hacks, but it's much, much fewer people. It's not a show that everyone is watching. The idea of a TV show that everyone is watching, those days are over. And while we're talking about Mayor of Easttown, it got rave reviews because of the way it portrayed a certain section of Pennsylvania. And the thing is, it was filmed on location in that part of Pennsylvania. And the people that live in that part of Pennsylvania
Didn't care for it?
No. They love it. They love it. They love that Kate Winslet did a great job with their accent, and they did a good job, establishing what it's like to live there. Mm-hmm. But the problem is, like, they filmed it in a town, and, like, where Mare lives, her house is a real house. And the problem now is the people that live in that house, that rented out the house for HBO to make the show, are dealing with trespassers, people that want to walk around Mare's house, right? Like, if you lived in the Brady Bunch house, that would be cool. It would also suck because all day long you'd look out your window. There'd
People
be
in
people
your bushes.
Yeah, right, taking pictures. Cops in Pennsylvania warning fans of Mayor of Easttown, knock it off with the trespassing on private property, taking photos of filming locations. The Nether Providence Police Department said in a Facebook post, there's been a string of incidents involving fans of Mayor of Easttown, which was partially filmed in Wallingford, Pennsylvania. Too many people trespassing on private property, including the house that served as Mayor of Easttown's home. Post says here, it's not cool to go to the homes they filmed at, trespass on the property, and harass the owners and their kids all hours of the day and night. The person that lives in Mayor's house is requesting anonymity, saying there have been multiple confrontations with impolite fans on sightseeing expeditions. She tells a TV station out there, we've had a few instances where people have come onto our property, one late at night, to look in our front window. They now are putting up no trespassing and private property signs to keep tourists at bay.
Just get some signs up there that indicate that there could be some booby traps. I didn't mention landmines.
Yeah, I guess if some Hollywood producer wants to do a TV show and they want to rent out your house, I would say
think twice.
I would say do it and then put the house on the market immediately, because you don't want to deal with that, right? I know there's homes in San Francisco that are from the beginning of Full House. There's a big park there, and people like to go and get their picture taken and sit on the steps of the Full House, and that drives those people nuts. And we mentioned the Brady home. That was something where, didn't they do a thing where on HGTV where, like, they got the kids from the Brady Bunch to do renovations in the house?
I didn't see that one.
Yeah, that was a show.
It's just the only work I can get.
I know. Poor Susan Olsen.
50 years.
Poor Bobby Lookinland. Wondering if the work he did on the cabinetry is gonna please the new owners.
Tried to take my life as an auto racer.
Didn't pan out. TV hits, a thing of the past.
Joe Namath is getting more work than I am.
It's true. Bobby, you are
Struggling.
Number two.
Charles Osborne. Charles Osborne is an American who is in the record books. He's in the Guinness Book of World Records. Had the longest ever bout of the hiccups. Non-stop hiccups from 1922 until June 5th, 1990.
Shoot me.
68 years this guy had hiccups. Longest bout of hiccups ever recorded. Hiccups started back in 1922. Charles was weighing a hog for slaughter. Hanging a 350-pound hog for butchering. He says, I picked it up, and then I fell down. I felt nothing, but the doctor said later I busted a blood vessel the size of a pin in my brain. And the problem with that blood vessel in his brain getting busted was that was the part of the brain that inhibits the hiccup response. In the beginning, he would hiccup all the time.
Yeah, he picked the wrong one.
He was hicking up 40 times a minute on average. Throughout his life, he was able to slow it down to 20 hiccups a minute. Charles Osborne would die in 1991. It's worth pointing out that his hiccups stopped in 1990. So his last year, he didn't have the hiccups. When you crunch the numbers, Charles Osborne probably hiccuped more than 430 million times.
Good Lord.
Doctors taught him at the Mayo Clinic a breathing technique to suppress the noise, but he still had to deal with it. And the fact that he was able to keep his sanity is something else.
They couldn't surgically fix it, huh?
Nothing they could do. There was nothing they could do. Later in life, he was forced to start grinding any food he ate in a blender.
Oh, God.
Because it was too hard for food to reach his stomach in between hiccups. A year before he died, the hiccups stopped. So that would have been, what a year that would have been.
I'm on Easy Street now.
Can you imagine if you hiccuped your entire, for 68 years and then it stopped? Can you imagine how satisfying that would be? Be running around all over the place like your hair was on fire. I'm not hiccuping.
You'd have to be concerned that you would do something to cause him to come back. Keep that 7-Up away from me.
Yeah, right. I'm not drinking anything with
carbonated.
any carbonation.
None. Get it out of here.
There was a dude in England in 2006. His name was Christopher Sands. Now, he had hiccups that lasted for 3 years. And I'll grant you that's not 68 years, but that would suck. He was a professional musician and had to find another line of work because...
He wasn't the singer.
Yeah, he was.
He was the singer?
He was a vocalist and a musician. And his hiccups sometimes would get so bad that he wasn't able to get enough oxygen and he would just pass out.
The only song we do is My Generation.
When they took a look at him, they found that he had a tumor in his brainstem. So when they got the tumor out of there, the hiccups went away. Jennifer Mee of Florida had a situation where she would hiccup 50 times every minute. This was in 2007. It lasted for 35 days. And then the hiccups went away. 3 years later, by the way, she was arrested for murder after taking part in a robbery. Jeez.
Did you ever suffer from hiccups at...
everybody from time to time has has a case of the hiccups you can't get rid of.
Now, I'm going to jinx myself. I can't remember the last time I had any sort of hiccups.
Oh, I get it. It happens to me.
Now, I remember when we were in school.
Yeah.
When we were I guess this maybe would have been like middle school.
Mm-hmm.
Kids were always like, I've got the hiccups. Can I go get a drink of water?
Yeah.
And we had one teacher. His remedy was, all right, look me in the face and hiccup.
Yeah.
And if you can't do it, then go back to your seat.
He'd had enough of the old hiccup routine.
Yeah, hiccup routine. It's like, okay, well, you're going to have to, hiccup. Let me see you hiccup.
There's a doctor who has announced a new product called the Hickaway. University of Texas Health San Antonio physician Ali Sifi has developed the Hickaway. It is a small straw-like contraption.
It's a stick, and I slap you in the throat with it.
Knock it off.
Knock it off. There's your Hickaway. Whack.
It's a big hickory.
It's a stick.
Yeah, that's right. No, it's a small straw-like contraption that quells the hiccups by triggering and stimulating the affective nerves. It's quite simple. You submerge one end of this straw. There's 2 little pinholes in it.
Mm-hmm.
And you put it in a glass of water while you drink from the other end. And because of the pinholes in the straw-like device, it takes a lot of effort to sip the water. And that forced suction pulls your diaphragm down and activates something called your phrenic nerve. The sensation of sipping water forces the brain to close the epiglottis. That's the bit of cartilage that's at the base of your tongue that closes when you swallow. That, in turn, triggers something called your vagus nerve, which is responsible for relaying messages between your digestive tract and the brain. So this little straw with the holes in it activates the pair of nerves that are affected by hiccups at the same time, tricking the brain into thinking that everything's cool. There's no need to hiccup anymore.
And if that doesn't work, we smack you in the throat.
This thing got funded through Kickstarter, and they say that 92% of people who use the contraption say it works. That's not technically a clinical trial. That's something that they're undergoing right now. But 92% of people that use it said the hiccups go away right away. It's not on the market yet, but it will be. Or maybe you
I'll just make my own.
just do a straw and poke little pinholes in it. I've heard of using a straw to drink water that's supposed to help. And, there's also somebody scare me. Are you supposed to do it where you sip through a straw when you're upside down or something? Have you ever heard of that?
Yeah, there's some sort of upside down drinking of water.
Yeah. Yeah, that's one way.
Hang me from the ceiling.
Now spit on my face and call me scum. Sip cold water slowly, they say, or drink warm water slowly. Drink it all the way down without breathing. The thing that used to cure me of hiccups back in the day, because I used to get it sometimes when I was out having the good times, shot of lime juice would always work for me. If I would just do lime juice on its own.
I would eat a whole lime. Peel and all. That shut me up.
Someone texting in here, sucking on ice cubes works. I've not heard of that. Or having a spoonful of honey or peanut butter. I could see that. I wouldn't say no to that, even without hiccups. Sounds great.
Putting on all this hiccup weight.
Number 3. 3.
Are you familiar with bespoke porn?
Bespoke.
Bespoke porn. Does that mean anything to you? Have you ever heard of it? Because I listen. I'm not
Beowulf, maybe.
Beowulf porn. Yeah, Grendel. Yeah, you like that, Grendel? Yeah, I like the alliteration you're using. No, bespoke porn is a branch of pornography that I wasn't familiar with. And listen, I've been around the block. I know stuff. I never heard of this.
I know stuff. I'm smart.
I know lots about porn. Not dumb like they say.
I'm smart.
I'm smart. Bespoke porn is basically you can make requests and they'll do what you tell them to do.
So it's, on demand.
Well, no, on demand is you can
Whatever you want.
Yeah.
No, you can actually, okay. So
you tell the porno stars, this is what I want you to do to each other.
Why is it called bespoke?
Well, bespoke, it means like custom made, right?
okay.
If something's bespoke, it means like you wanted it made in the fashion that you wanted it made.
Okay, so you're making a request.
Yes. There's this couple out in L.A. that have been at the forefront of this bespoke pornography. Dan and Rhiannon are their names. No last names. I won't do it. They could have families. According to their website, no request is too small or large or weird.
Really? So they turn nothing down, huh?
They're a couple that makes these movies, and yes, they'll. It's like they're the Earl Scheibs of bespoke pornography. If you can think of it, they will make it. They say that no request is too small or weird or large. Crazy is subjective, they say, and the requests they get run the gamut.
Yeah, but we're not harming animals or something.
No, I don't think so. Although one of the requests was they wanted the pornography to feature a fully clothed woman swatting flies. I mean,
Pretty specific.
I thought there's the thing about pornography that is, if you can think of it, it's already been done. This is stuff that nobody's thought of.
Apparently.
Because that would be a weird category.
Fly swatting.
Right. You want redheads. You want girl on girl. Do you want a woman fully clothed swatting flies? It just seems like very specific
And
request.
unnecessary.
Another guy sent in a vacuum cleaner request once. It says he wanted a canister vacuum cleaner. It couldn't be an upright. Those aren't sexy. It had to be the 60s canister vacuum cleaner, and he wanted her to vacuum the floor a little bit, but not too much, but mostly the couch.
Okay.
So she just cleaned the couch. They started this service 10 years ago. Rhiannon had previously worked in non-pornographic animation. Dan always made his own adult films.
Always.
But as the internet started to mushroom and the sites began to dominate the landscape of the sex industry, they moved into this porn by request. Someone writes in with an idea for a film. Sometimes they'll even write a script, like, you say this, and then she says this, and then you say this. There are scene directions, very specific requests and demands about what sort of props are used. And then these two will give you a list of options and make it a reality. They are booked out months in advance, and business, brother, is booming. Our most expensive movie isn't out yet, but it's called The Bride, they say. This one had a cast of 25 people and cost about $30,000. And
you can request that they make a blockbuster?
30 grand is a lot of money for a porno, isn't it?
I want a summer blockbuster.
I want Daniel Day-Lewis in this thing. It says here, to be perfectly honest, we were really surprised that the guy wanted to go along with it. We just kind of assumed that guys who come to us with larger production ideas probably won't go through with it. The concept was someone getting married, a younger woman marrying an older man. And then at the reception, she starts flirting with the best man, the son-in-law, the stepson gets involved, and then the attendees of the wedding get involved, and everyone is taking videos.
And then the place catches on fire.
It's a good one, to be honest. We can't wait to put it out there. Another of their regulars has been working on an entire fantasy series with them. We love the big story-driven stuff that's just epic, and one of our clients is amazing. It's like a sci-fi story where a scientist, there's a disembodied demon that talks to the scientist and tells him that he's corrupted his essence. So that every time he, they have to make a special effect for that. And then if it gets on you, then you become his sex slave.
I'd like you to recreate the Poseidon adventure.
There's got to be a horny morning after. They've shot 3 of the 7 episodes of this one. Our clients kind of see themselves as a writer, a creative type, and this guy for sure. It's not always.
A producer.
Right. They've got this story and they want it to come to life. Now, not everything is a big glossy production. Everything isn't Cecil B. DeMille, right? In the world of bespoke
I want there to be a chariot race.
That wouldn't be bad. Has that not ever been done?
It's called Ben-Hur. Over.
Consider yourself zinged.
The zing of the day.
It says here that they've been doing a series that they call the $240 Condiment Game, which involves industrial strength condiments being poured over these girls' heads. Beans, ketchup, chili, mustard, etc.
What is this, a Who album?
But when the barbecue sauce comes in and starts mixing up with everything, it just says erg. Because barbecue sauce is brutal. It overpowers everything. It really smells. You have no idea what it smells like. It's like nothing you can imagine. But they say that's a fun one. I think we can all imagine what barbecue sauce smells like.
Really never knocked me out before.
Some people are really apprehensive about contacting us because they've never said this to anyone before, like what their fetish is. We're the first people they talk about it with. And it's really cool when people come and share their ideas and these details with us. And so often they'll say, I've never put this into words before. I've never spoken to anyone about this. Even their spouse. It's a secret they're telling us for the first time. So I guess, these people feel good getting whatever it is off their chest. Can you imagine, if you were to bring home a movie and the movie was just people pouring barbecue sauce on top of one another. And then you showed it to your partner, and they're like, that was weird. And you go, I came up with it. That was my
Now
idea.
I see why you're going to need to swat flies. It's so sticky.
The one gentleman contacted us, and he seemed a little apprehensive. He told us that he had built this stamp collection over 40 years. 40 years, and he said, I want to send this stamp collection to you. This is my concept. I really want it to work. So they were gonna do stuff on the guy's stamp collection.
Oh, no.
And they felt bad about it because they're like, are we really going to do this? We're going to destroy this guy's 40-year-old stamp collection? The 3 women we were directing felt awful. Like, are you sure we shouldn't just photocopy this and cut it out? No, that's not what he wants. He wants us to destroy the stamp collection while we do this. So that's what we're doing. And you can't do it again. Everything had to be done in one take. Jeez. 40 years building a stamp collection so they could destroy it in a porno movie.
Again, very specific.
Very, very specific. Yeah. Well, that's a thing. Look them up if you're into
So inclined.
whatever that is.
Four.
A couple days ago, we had a story of a guy who put $20 into a crypto account. Mm-hmm. It was $20, and then he went to bed, and then he checked it out the next day, and
he was a trillionaire.
He was a trillionaire, which isn't how anything works.
No.
That's not as crazy.
As the fluctuations are.
Yes. This is the kind of the reverse of that. Maddie McGivern lives in California. She banks with Chase Bank. Mm-hmm. And she had $76 in her checking account. And she checked it. And when she went to go look at the app, it said that she was actually $49 billion in debt.
That's not good.
The negative balance on her account, $49,999,999,697.98. So yeah, like $50 billion in debt. She says, I wish I could say I bought the city of Los Angeles, but that's not the case here. Uh-huh. I'm not really sure what inclined me to check my bank account at 2 a.m, but I did.
Don't ever do that again.
And then I saw negative 49 billion, called my bank, and it went a little something like this. Hello, this is Chase Bank. How may I help you? Hi, I'm negative $50 billion in debt, and I'm not quite sure why. Do I have $50 billion? No, I have $76. So she goes, can I put you on hold? I've never seen this before. And I was like, oh, it also said on my account that I would be receiving $50 billion in the year 2099. Which would be 6, she says, but I don't know if I'll be alive in 2099.
Yeah, that's quite a ways off.
Anyway, she had to go to the bank to figure things out. She shows up at the bank to let them know what happened. She explained what happened to the account, saying the bank staff told her it's a new tactic the bank has to tell users there's something wrong with their account.
Why don't they just say, why does it just say something's wrong with your account?
They do something like that's super scary like this to get your attention. Because they want you to fix whatever's wrong with your account. So she had $76.
Right.
And then, she went out. Maybe she went over. And instead of saying, hey, you're over, they said, well, what if we told her she was $50 billion in debt?
So being a little over isn't scary enough.
Right. Well, but dig this. Like, she did call the bank.
Yeah.
She did show up to the bank.
Yeah.
So this is what they're doing now, is they'll just tell you you're $50 billion in debt to try and get you to go to the bank and talk to them.
Act fast.
That doesn't seem like something they should be able to do.
No.
They shouldn't be able to play around with your numbers to make it look like you owe $50 billion.
Just tell me I need to address something, and I guess I'll try to be an adult and do it.
Right. Don't ever go on your app at 2 a.m. and check your bank account.
No.
That's just never a good idea.
What's the best thing that could happen? I mean, I guess if you're maybe looking, I'm supposed to get paid today. I wonder if it's in there. Okay.
I could see that. Maybe.
Maybe.
Even then, though, it can wait till morning.
5.
Here's one from Japan where the call came in to the rescue squad. There was a drowning woman. And they, of course, this is off the northern coast of Japan. The divers went in after the drowning woman. This is off the waters of Hachinohe, northern part of Japan. The problem was that the live woman that they rescued was, in fact, a life-size sex doll that someone had thrown into the ocean.
That's good work, boys.
They thought it was a real rescue, and there were people on the shore watching this, filming this, a horde of people crowding to watch. I would assume...
They've got her.
If I saw a body floating in the Mississippi River,
Yeah.
I think I would call 911 to say, hey, there's something going on. I don't think I would hang around to watch any recovery effort, though. Because if it's just floating, like I imagine a sex doll would float, aren't you kind of assuming that that's more of a recovery than a rescue? It was clear that something serious was going on. One YouTuber says, while filming a fishing video, I thought I saw a dead body floating in the water. But yeah, it was a blow-up doll. Let's know more about this fishing video. Where's that at? Seeing the body floating in the water, a passerby called rescue crews to come out and save her. And that's the right thing to do. But you must feel a little embarrassed when you find out that the call you made to rescue a woman was, in fact, a sex doll. That was just,
And to those on the
floating
shore
around.
watching, once the retrieval was complete, anybody want this?
Yeah, well,
Any takers?
they're very strict in Japan about getting rid of
Littering?
oversized garbage. Yeah, you only have so much room there on the island, and littering is very much frowned upon. So taking your sex doll and throwing her in the ocean, frowned upon. Now everybody's having a good laugh, but I also have to imagine. Here's a photo of them hauling the body out of the water. That looks kind of gruesome,
That is gruesome, even for a doll.
right?
Look at those legs.
It's like the doll is waterlogged like I imagine you would be if you were a drowned person. Yeah, very long legs. That's a good point. Maybe that's just the angle of, or it's just...
No, that's what I'm into.
I'm into freakishly long legs sex dolls. And it also looks like maybe the head fell off.
Yeah, it's custom made.
Oh, that's just somebody who's into some stuff.
Designer stuff.
Give me the headless Carol alt.
I'd like some sort of ghoul.
And when I'm done with it, I'm throwing it into the Sea of Japan. There are no survivors. Well, I mean, I guess it's good practice for the rescue squad to pull this thing out.
That's good work, boys.
And now, do you assume that someone on the shore is like, well, if nobody's going to use it, I'll take it? They just take it to the dump, or how do you dispose of such a thing? Hey, now you got that thing out of the water, has anybody said dibs? Because I'm into some stuff.
I live right around the corner.
It's no big deal. You guys could just drop it off at my place.
I'll just let her sit out in the sun for a little bit.
She'll try right up.
Is it all over, Rock?
I guess so.
I didn't think it'd be like this.
That was Dave and Darren's Top 5 Things. Hope you liked it. Thanks for listening. And thanks to Nature's Treatment of Illinois for making it all possible.
Nature's Treatment of Illinois has 2 locations, Tech Drive in Milan and West Main Street in Galesburg. Milan's open every day. Galesburg is open weekdays and Saturdays. The Milan store offers both medicinal and recreational. Galesburg is recreational only. Recreational waiting times or waiting lists are available, and you can reserve your time if you go to the website. That's ntillinois.com.
Until we put another one of these together for you, keep on chugling, kooks.
Yes, nicely done.
I'm really into chugling now.
What's chugling?
It's like a CCR kind of music, just kind of like
chugling.
It's a whole subgenre I'm fascinated by.
Marvelous.
Yeah, I'm gonna make that my new thing because
Go with the flow.
yeah, I like to find something, be all about it for a couple of weeks, and then forget all about it. Keep on chugling, kooks. And stay classy and safe, Quad Cities.
Right on.
Quad Cities representing. This is for the Quad Cities record spot. Davenport, yeah, we keeping it locked. Rock Island, come on, and it just don't stop. East Moline, yeah, they keeping it hot.
Hi, this is Art Linkletter. Thanks for listening.